ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. My name is Kevin, this is my co-host Teddy, and today I'm answering a question that I have seen around, especially on some of my older videos, and that is, should I, pay quite a bit of money and buy a really good model of GTX 1080 Ti, such as this one right here, the MSI Gaming X Trio. This is a serious model of GTX 1080 Ti. Or should I save a bit of money and buy one of the more cheaper models of 1080 Ti, such as this one, which is the Gigabyte Gaming OC, which is pretty much a G1 gaming GTX 1080 Ti. And that's what I'm here to answer today. Is it worth it going for those higher end models? And this is quite good anyway, because this is quite a good comparison from maybe other models of graphics cards as well, although of course we're focusing on the 1080 Ti today. So of course these GPUs are pretty expensive to begin with. Even the Gaming OC is a very expensive graphics card, but there still is a bit of a price difference between these two GPUs. So let's jump right into it then and talk about the actual GPU inside of them, what you get with the 1080 Ti. And that is the 16 nanometer FinFET GP102 Pascal GPU with 3,584 CUDA cores. You're also getting 224 texture units and 88 ROPs. Now for the clock speeds, I ran both of these cards in their OC mode. So with that being said, we saw this Gaming X Trio here go up to 1,961 megahertz, which was pretty decent there. But the Gaming OC actually wasn't that far behind. It came in at 1,911 megahertz. That's very solid. Now both of these cards have a 250 watt TDP, at least that's what's stated on their websites, and memory wise both of them are coming with 11 gigabytes of GDDR5X memory on a 352-bit bus, although that's slightly different in terms of speed. You're getting 11 gigabits per second on the Gaming OC and you get 11.1 on the Gaming X Trio, so a tiny bit different there, but not really that much. Now cooler wise, so the Gaming X Trio here has an absolutely enormous cooler. This is one of the biggest GPUs I have ever tested. This thing is gigantic. So it has this huge aluminium heatsink, obviously 3 fans on there, and it's a really good looking card. I mean, big heat pipes as well. This is a serious GPU. The military class components is a very, very serious GPU. Now the Gaming OC still puts up a decently good show. Obviously it's much, much smaller in terms of size, smaller heat sinks. It doesn't have a backplate, which is pretty shocking on a 1080 Ti, to me anyway. I mean, you're paying a lot of money for these cards. It really should have one. If they're going to skimp anywhere, that's a bizarre place to do it. Anyways, yeah, it's still got a decent cooler. I mean, the G1 gaming cooler, or the WindForce cooler, has been around a very long time. Although this is the hottest running chip in NVIDIA's current gaming lineup, the GP102 here. But of course things have come a long way since the old GTX1080 days. But yeah, I mean it's still a decent cooler on this guy, but obviously the Gaming X Trio has a big advantage given that the cooler is just so much more massive by comparison. So with all that being said, let's jump into the benchmarks and compare these two GPUs. So of course this was run in their OC mode. I didn't test overclocking because I'm not allowed to test the overclocking on these graphics cards unless I'm given, unless I ask specifically to be able to do it, because these are borrowed graphics cards. But we can still see how they perform and their out-of-the-box speeds, which is going to be relevant for many of you guys out there. So let's jump in and see how they perform. benchmarks then. Well, the Gaming X Trio wins, but it's not really much of a victory. Many of those were within a few frames, and you're never going to notice that in a game. So the Gaming X Trio does win, granted that it has that slightly higher clock speed and the slightly higher memory speed, so that was to be expected, but you're not going to notice it. So really, in terms of out-of-the-box performance, they're pretty much identical. You're not going to notice any difference between these two GPUs. Now let's move over to temperatures then, and this is where it gets much more interesting, given the huge size difference between these coolers. So obviously the Gaming X Trio is going to do better here, but by how much? So for this, I ran the Unigine Valley benchmark on the Extreme HD preset. You see the Gigabyte Gaming OC there went up to 73 degrees Celsius at 53% fan speed, and the Trio went up to 66 degrees Celsius at 37% fan speed. So that's a really good victory there for the Gaming X Trio. Pretty much what a lot of us was expecting as well. It's just a much bigger cooler. We're seeing the drop off in temps there, but not only that, but the lower fan speed as well, which is really good. And speaking of which, noise wise, the Gaming X Trio also wins. So I use both of these graphics cards for quite a few days, all my gaming, all the rest of it, and I can definitely tell you the Gaming X Trio is the quieter of the two. But as always, I'll let you guys judge for yourself. So this was also done during the Unigine Valley benchmark. I'll show you what the Gaming OC Gigabyte card sounds like first, and then we'll move over and I'll show you what the Gaming X Trio sounds like. So as you guys can see, the Gaming X Trio is the quieter of the two. But to be fair to the Gaming OC, it's not a particularly loud card either. This isn't going to be like a reference card or anything like that. You don't need to worry about it. But the Gaming X Trio is definitely the better of the two in terms of noise. Which brings us now to the conclusion, and what do I make of these two GPUs? So right now in New Zealand, there's a bit of a price difference between these two graphics cards. Now this is obviously going to be different depending on where you live, but I can confidently say that no matter where you live, the Gaming X Trio will probably be more expensive than the Gaming OC by, you know, a decent margin, at least as far as 1080 Ti prices go. So which one of these graphics cards do I recommend? And this one for me is a little bit difficult in some ways. Basically, I would put it this way. If you are not going to overclock at all, you have no interest in overclocking your GPU, and you just want to get a 1080 Ti, then I would honestly go for the Gaming OC. Yeah, it's a little bit Jimmy in ways. The fact that it doesn't have a backplate really kind of upsets me, and that will put off some people out there, especially for the price they're paying for a graphics card like this. But if you don't care about that, or your case doesn't have a window or anything, you just don't care about it, then this is a great GPU to get you in on a 1080 Ti for a lower price than many others. It will still perform very well, the cooler is just fine, it's very adequate, and the noise isn't too bad. So this will be a fine GPU for you to get in on a GTX 1080 Ti if you're wanting one. However, if you are going to be overclocking, or you're just a person that cares about looks and you know that's really vital to you, then the Gaming X Trio is the choice for you. Overclockers are obviously going to pick this one, and that's what I would recommend to anybody who is thinking about overclocking, especially if you're going to be doing it seriously. Then yeah, definitely invest the extra money and get the Gaming X Trio, because it will be the better graphics card. Overall, it is still the better one. It's definitely the better looking. It's got the RGB and stuff as well. So this is the one I would go for the more enthusiast person, the person that's, you know, not so much worried about the money type of thing, or the, you know, overclocker out there. I would go for the Gaming X Trio. But either way, I mean, both of these graphics cards are extremely powerful, and I think you would be happy either way. But that's how I'd basically put it. Overclockers, go for the Gaming X Trio. Non-overclockers, you'll be alright with the Gaming OC. Now, I thank you all for watching this video. I'm still very happy with my personal GPU. I just run the standard Gaming X MSI card. GTX1080 Ti, and it's been a fantastic GPU for me, so I really enjoy that one. That's also another option if maybe you didn't want to pick up the Gaming OC for whatever reason. Oftentimes you can catch the Gaming X on special and get quite a good deal on that, and that's a very good graphics card, which is why I run it myself. But let me know in the comment section down below, do you like it when I do these very high-end GPU showdowns, like these ones with the trio and that? Do you guys enjoy it, or would you prefer me to focus on things that are more for the average viewer, you know, the GTX 1060s, maybe RX 580s, that sort of thing? I'd like to know what you guys think, because for me personally, I sort of see it as like watching car reviews, and you know, it's always fun watching the Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Maseratis and stuff. Even though, you know, most people cannot afford a car like that, it's still good to see it, and I sort of see it the same way with tech with these 1080 Ti's. But let me know in the comment section down below. And I thank you all for watching this video. Please subscribe to Tech Showdown if you haven't already, and like the video. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.